Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Starseed Tarot. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the concept of non judgment, and I wanted to discuss in particular the symbolism of water and atmospheric conditions and how that contributes to the growth of a plant and the growth of ourselves as spiritual beings. So, water, as we know, represents that which is prolific, right? It represents rebirth. It represents our ability to purify, to cure ourselves. And it also represents fluidity and the resilience of life. So, part of non judgment, I would say, is being able to accept that the situations that happen in our lives are actually building towards our resilience rather than breaking us down. So, it's having that non judgment towards our own experiences, right? And understanding that things are happening for us and not to us. So let's take as an example, a relationship doesn't work out for us, right? We could internalize that as being a shortcoming on our end, or we could see the situation as unrelated to us or as a blessing in disguise. If we understand that when situations don't happen, they're not happening for a reason. It may actually be, as the phrase says or goes, God's rejection is actually his protection, right? And having that sort of non-judgment, I believe, is very important in order for our own growth. It's important to understand that if someone leaves our life, they're leaving our life not necessarily because of something that we've done. Like we should take accountability if we've done something. For instance, if we don't trust people and we push them away, right? It's important for us to take accountability for that. But oftentimes when people leave our lives, it may not have to do with us, right? It may actually stem from insecurity inside of themselves that keeps them from bonding or connecting with you in the way that they really mean to or want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of committing fully to you, instead of discussing situations with you, maybe they decide to entertain a third party, right? Because it's much easier to go towards that third party than to put in the hard work of having a discussion with you to resolve differences, right? But that's not your fault. That person made that decision, didn't they? So that's where the non-judgment comes in, is not internalizing it. People are responsible for their own decision making. And it's not necessarily something that you did or didn't do that has caused them to take on actions. You know, we are responsible for ourselves. So I just wanted to say that. And the water, right? The element of water, it's also representative of rebirth, right? So we can enter into that rebirth when we stop viewing situations as our fault, but seeing them as mutually informing. And what I mean by mutually informing is that it's not just that you're responsible, it goes two ways, right? And if we really break down water into its component parts, right, we'll see that there's elements of the atmosphere that are inside the compounds of water, right? And atmosphere, right, is symbolic of the protection around us, right? And that shields us or the proverbial plant from harm, right? So if you think about it, water is a prolific element. That's its symbolism. And in a way, the water represents protection, right? Protection while we're going through rebirth. So, yeah, I just wanted to explain some of that.